Germany did not march into World War II united by hatred alone. It marched forward burdened by humiliation, fear, and unresolved trauma. The First World War ended in 1918. But for Germany, the war never truly stopped. Defeat shattered the empire. The Kaiser fled. Soldiers returned home not as heroes, but as reminders of failure. The Treaty of Versailles followed like a punishment carved into law. Germany lost territory, military power, and dignity. Reparations drained the economy. Guilt was assigned to an entire nation. The Weimar Republic tried to build democracy on unstable ground. Hyperinflation destroyed savings overnight. Money lost meaning. A lifetime of work could be erased in days. Veterans begged in the streets. Families burned banknotes for warmth. Hope became fragile. Anger became common. Many Germans did not dream of conquest. They dreamed of stability. They wanted work, order, pride. And in moments of despair, extreme voices often sound reasonable. That was when Adolf Hitler appeared, not as a tyrant at first, but as a speaker. He promised unity. He promised strength. He promised to undo humiliation. To millions, he sounded like an answer. Hitler became chancellor in 1933. Democracy did not collapse overnight. It was dismantled step by step. Opposition parties were outlawed. Independent newspapers disappeared. Trade unions were crushed. Fear became policy. The Nazi regime rebuilt Germany's army in open defiance of international agreements. Factories reopened. Roads were built. Unemployment dropped. For ordinary Germans, life seemed to improve. Parades filled the streets. Flags covered buildings. Pride returned, carefully manufactured. But prosperity came with obedience. Jews were stripped of rights. Disabled people were labeled unfit. Political opponents vanished. Some Germans supported it. Some ignored it. Some were afraid to speak. The regime did not rely on terror alone. It relied on participation. Teachers, engineers, doctors, clerks, all became part of the system. The state rewarded loyalty and punished doubt. By the late 1930s, Germany was no longer pretending. It was preparing for war. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. The world watched as German tanks rolled forward and aircraft dominated the skies. Blitzkrieg lightning war was terrifyingly effective. Poland collapsed in weeks. Soon after, Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France fell. Too many Germans, victory felt inevitable. The army seemed unstoppable. Europe bent before German power, but victory bred arrogance. In 1941, Hitler made the decision that would doom Germany. He invaded the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa was not merely a military campaign, it was a war of annihilation. German soldiers advanced thousands of kilometers. But distance, resistance, and winter slowed them. Supplies failed. The Red Army adapted. Cities like Leningrad and Stalingrad became symbols of suffering beyond imagination. Stalingrad changed everything. Hundreds of thousands of German soldiers were encircled. Starving, freezing, abandoned. Orders demanded. They fight to the last man they did. Germany lost not just an army, it lost the illusion of invincibility. From 1943 onward, the war turned against Germany on all fronts. Allied bombers filled the skies. Hamburg burned. Cologne collapsed. Dresden vanished in fire. The war that Germans once watched from afar now arrived at their doorsteps. Women and children hid in basements. Entire neighborhoods disappeared overnight. On the front lines, German soldiers fought on not for victory but for survival. Many no longer believed in the regime, yet desertion meant death. The state consumed its own people. Meanwhile, the truth of the Holocaust became undeniable. Industrialized murder. Camps designed not to imprison, but to erase. Millions were killed not because of actions, but identity. Some Germans resisted. Most did not. History would remember both. In 1944, Allied forces landed in Normandy. From the west and east, Germany was crushed between advancing armies. Resources ran out. Cities fell. The end was inevitable.